Today is a very important and unforgettable day in the education system in our country. It is with great pleasure that I welcome everyone to this special presentation that we have been anticipating for so long. Let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us there is a private hope and dream which, fulfilled, can be translated into benefits for everyone and greater strength of the nation. With all of this said, let me once again welcome everyone to the Vfcss Comprehensive Secondary School. Welcome to this institution. Thank you.
Today is indeed a special occasion for us at this school. It is a special occasion because it's an opportunity the students of Form 4s will be getting today to jump on the ICT train. It is like a dream come true. Maybe about a few years ago, the students, the parents, and even the teachers would never imagine that these students would be given such an opportunity. Having students to take home the laptops is addressing a major need, because although most of our secondary schools have computer labs, but the need to have access after school hours, having them to go home will definitely address this need. And we are very optimistic that increasing access for students will impact in a positive way on the performance. We know that Vfcss Compre has been doing very well in the past in terms of the academics, sporting, and a number of other disciplines, and providing them with tools that would enhance learning will go a long way in improving the performance and keeping them as one of the best schools on the island. The parents, I'm sure today, you are very pleased. As your education officer, I'm very pleased that the students will be receiving the laptops. And you too, we're sure that at home you will have access, those of you who don't have one at home. But what I would like to ask of you, it is very important that you treasure the laptops, both students and parents, and you take very good use of it. It's an experiment, and I'm sure if it has positive benefits, we will have other opportunities where other students can follow the lead or the example that has been set. So we trust that very good care will be taken of the laptops so that the students can make good use of them. The students also use them in a positive light. As we know, on the internet, there are so many thousands of different things that you can do. But if you use the laptops in a positive light to enhance on your achievements, it will go a long way towards your success. With these few words, let me thank all of you, and let me thank the government and the Ministry of Education for providing the opportunity for the Form 4s and also the parents to receive laptops. Thanks very much.
If anyone has a handkerchief, I would like you to take it to the Minister for Education. He was sharing a few tears a few moments ago when the principal of the school said that this is the best school on the island. And he was a little jealous because the Prime Minister went to this institution, Honorable Moses Jabatis went to this institution, I went to this institution, and he was the only one who felt left out. But I'm very, very pleased to be associated with this event this morning. I want to tell the students in particular that this laptop is not a gift. It is a tool to assist you in equipping yourself meaningfully to take your place beside others in our community to make a very important contribution to the development of your country. Education is the only tool that can meaningfully equip you with the necessary skills to make that contribution. And I want to tell you that Singapore today is what it is because of education. Japan owes its phenomenal growth as an industrial power to education. Russia mounted from the status of a poor, underdeveloped country to superpower and developed country, mainly on the wings of education. This government has always placed emphasis on education. We ensured between 1997 and 2006, we built new secondary schools, expanded existing secondary schools at the time to ensure that every child had an opportunity to go to a secondary school in St. Lucia. We got back in 2011, and despite the economic challenges, despite the fact that we do not get official development assistance from Europe and North America like before, and despite the fact that there was a 10% deficit in the economy, this government kept its promise to ensure that every child got $500 moving from Standard 4 into Form 1. And again, today, I am pleased to be associated with another important promise, that of giving Form 4s a laptop, so that every child in this country will not be disadvantaged in Form 4 as they prepare for the GCE and CXC qualifications. And so, this morning as I close, I want to say to my Laborian students in particular that the student that top CXC next year will receive $1,000 from the parliamentary representative for library. And this is not an empty promise, because in all my primary schools, OG Combined, Labri Girls, Labri Boys, and the Bans Laguas School, every year, the student that top common entrance exam gets $1,000 from the parliamentary representative for library. So I want to hear next year that a Laborian from this institution top the island in CXC. God bless you, and take this work seriously.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me here. I want to remind you, children, that at one time there was something called a slate and a pencil. You may not know this, but your parents would know a slate and a pencil. That is what we used a very long time ago, decades ago, to write on. Then we moved to exercise books. At every single stage in our development, technology changed and we had to adapt. We moved from pencils to pens, fountain pens, all kinds of pens. And so today, the technology is based on information. The technology resides in the internet, and the technology resides in computers. That is why this government believes that it's very important for every single child and for every single home to have access to computers and to information technology. So I'm very happy this morning that all of the Form 4s, I know the other forms you want your laptops too, but we have to start somewhere. I'm very happy that all of the Form 4s will be getting the laptops. And again, as the minister said, it is a promise that was made and a promise kept. So I'm happy for all of the children, but in particular, I thank God for this government and for the promise. The Minister for Education kept his promise. And I can look forward to the children of Vieux Fort North using their laptops. And we are going to work very hard to ensure that we get centers where there is Wi-Fi and you can use your laptops very productively. Thank you. And I wish to remind you, as Minister Alva Baptist said, I am a product of this school, and I'm very proud to be here also. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
I am always pleased to be here in Vieux Fort. I noticed that Beaufort has a very competitive spirit, and I like it. Because whether it is in academics or it's in the field of sports, Beaufort has always shown its prowess in this country, and I want to commend you for that. And I want to tell you, I think it's a healthy spirit that you exhibit everywhere you go in this country. When I was at St. Mary's, I always felt that the only school in this country that we would have to always put a fight to is the Beaufort Comprehensive School. So I want you to keep that spirit, because I think it builds confidence in the young people of the Beaufort Comprehensive Secondary School. So I said to the principal and staff, continue to encourage it, and continue to encourage it among my colleagues who are seated here as a parliamentary rep for Library, Beaufort North, and Beaufort South. Students, this morning it's a very important ceremony that we are here to witness. A ceremony that the government of St. Lucia is making a further investment in the education of our young people. Giving a laptop to Form 4s is an investment. And that investment does not come lightly. The Minister for Finance, who's also the Prime Minister, even when he looked at the economic condition of this country, he still looked at education and kept the funding for education at the same level that it was last year. And it speaks to the viewpoint that the Prime Minister or the Minister of Finance has on education. And I heard the member for Library say that education is a social leveler, meaning it can provide social mobility for those who are at the bottom, and to make us feel that we have the same power that everybody else has. And that's the beauty of education. And the Prime Minister understands that position, and that's why, as Minister of Finance, he continues to spend and continues to invest in education. The St. Lucia Labour Party, in its campaign promise, made it clear that every child in Form 4 will be given a laptop, and today, starting yesterday I should say, the promise is kept, and we say congratulations to the government of St. Lucia for keeping its promise to the people of St. Lucia. And as I end, I want to just tell the parents, I'm very pleased to see you here, parents. It tells us that you want to be in partnership with us. You want to tell your children that you are serious about the commitment that you make to their education. Parents, for every privilege, for every right, there are responsibilities. And today you've been here, you are showing us your commitment, and we are very grateful for that. I want to tell you, use these laptops to ensure that your children's education is secured. And let me say to the principal and staff, you have an equal responsibility to ensure that these machines are used for the education of the children put in your care. Let me thank everybody for having come here today, and I wish you Godspeed and all the best to the Beaufort Comprehensive Secondary School as you continue to make your environs very proud of the achievements in academia as well as in sports. God bless you.
I wanted so much to be here with you today. And really there are two reasons why I wanted to be here with you. First, I wanted to be here as parliamentary representative for this constituency. But most of all, I wanted to be here to celebrate with you. I just wanted to be with my school. I heard the Minister of Education saying a while ago that Beaufort Comprehensive has a good fighting spirit. I think he's wrong. As far as I'm aware, Beaufort Comprehensive has the best fighting spirit in this island. And in this school, we have never accepted to be the second best. We have always accepted to be number one in everything that we do, and it must stay that way. In recent years, we have achieved some important milestones in our education system. The first is that we have successfully introduced universal secondary education to guarantee every child in our country a place in a secondary school. We can now boast of this milestone not just in the region but in the wider world. Today we are crossing another milestone, bringing technology to our school system. And it is for us a very important and significant development. I dream for the day when every child in our secondary school and even our primary schools would be able to have a laptop and be able to reach out to this vast world of knowledge that exists. But this is important for another reason. We have a responsibility to you to prepare you, and of course, those who are going to come after you, prepare you for this new and different world. I suspect that in the next 5 years, maybe 5, possibly 10, children will no longer be required to take books to secondary schools. Parents will no longer have to dig deep to find money to purchase textbooks come September. That all your textbooks that you require will be on a laptop that you're going to have to accompany you to school. That day will soon come. And in preparation for that day, we have to not only modify our teaching style and techniques, but we have a responsibility as a government and as a country to prepare you. So this is going to be the next big step, the next big revolution in education. But there's another reason why I wanted to share this moment of history with you. Those laptops, for me, is a great equalizer. And I use that term, great equalizer, to mean not only socially, because I know that many of your parents would have found it exceedingly hard to raise money in these difficult times to buy you a laptop. I know that. So I know the social value of those laptops to you, especially those of you who come from very difficult and poor households. So I know that it is a social equalizer because outside of this important tool, it would have been hard for you to get access to it. And I said the overriding concern has to be to prepare you for the future. But it is also an equalizer for a very different reason. Now, with this tool, you are no different from any child anywhere in the world. Whether that child is in Canada, in France, in Spain, in South Africa, in Egypt, whether that child is in Jamaica or Barbados, but you are no different from them because you have the same access to knowledge. You have the same access to information. And if you have excelled before, I would expect you to excel even more. And that's the point. I don't want to see a country that is shortchanged. I don't want a country that is second to none. I want us to be a great country, a different country, a wonderful country. I want us to be a country that can continue to define the world, that can continue to make the difference. And you are doing just that by the graduates that you have produced over the years. You may not know, but many of your former graduates are working in laboratories, in universities, in institutions changing this world. I just want to help you to continue on that trend, to continue to make us proud. For the parents, some of you I know are a little afraid that your children will be getting these gifts today. You worry that they're going to spend time and go on to sites they're not supposed to go and look at. But I want to comfort you. I want to remind you of a couple of things. Some of those sites would not be accessible. They would not be accessible. They have no place in the school curriculum. The second thing is, it's an expensive tool, and you as well as your children need to look after it. But for those who might be tempted because of one reason or the other to sell those computers, don't try it. Because there is something in those laptops that will tell us exactly where the laptop is. If a laptop is sold, we will know where to find it. If a laptop is stolen, we will know where to find it. So I just want to tell you, it is the most prized tool of education that you will ever have, and you need to look after it. I want this education revolution to continue. And I know that we have an economy that is very difficult. But before I close, I just want to tell you and share with you and your parents one other dream. I want this economy to get stronger. I hope it could get stronger soon, not only to give you the jobs that you so desperately need, because I know what many of you are going through, but I want it for another reason. I want and hope that the day will soon come when the government of St. Lucia will be able to take over and take responsibility for paying the examination fees of students sitting the CXC examinations. I want that day to come. But that day cannot come until I have a better and a stronger economy. Because it is by this power of education that we will be able to conquer the world around us. In closing, two things. I started by saying I wanted to be here. And I wanted to be here so much that I made sure I wore my blue shirt today to tell you who I am and where I'm from. I'm not going to tell you the house just yet. Yes, I was an Algerian. Why are you putting about my business? The second, and let me just share this with you briefly. You know, in government, you have ministers. You had the word ministers. Minister of External Affairs. Minister of Education. But there is one person who carries a different name. They call him or her, when the time comes, Prime Minister. Now, the distinguished representative from Library heard that I have asked the school to award a prize in my name every year for the best student. And today he comes there, having heard of that, he announces that he is giving $1,000. But, as I said to you, there is Prime Minister and there is Minister. And the Prime Minister obviously has to stay way and beyond the minister. After all, he's prime. So next year, your prize will be $2,000. I thank you. Have a wonderful day.